Alright, so let's try this again. This is like the fifth time. I tried to do this one-year review a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and someone always called me and of course interrupted the video. So that just happened right now and it was going pretty good. So let's try to go again. So 1-year review, 25-inch 2nd gen ybravo. So to start from the beginning, I bought it from the dealer. They had all of that really needed to be done. The idle was really low. All they really needed to do was raise the idle, which you do here. You have this little plate and it shifts. You can see how the holes right there, and you can see where the actual first initial setup was. So the RPMs were really low. I was having issues to where it was bogging down. Not doing weekly lawns, but bi-weekly lawns. I would go in, I don't know, 5 feet, and it would just bog down. So I bought it with the impression that I could return it after having it for 15 days. They had a money-back guarantee, and so either way, they didn't warranty that. I kept it, so the dealer just didn't set it up right. Knowing now, after looking on their website, they have these service tips, how to set it up. So I've gone through all that. I've set it up to the best of my ability where they suggest. So the RPMs for this 25-inch should be at its highest, which I think is 3,600 RPMs. Given the blade being so long that it needs that much RPMs, of course you spin the blade to be able to have that force to cut the grass. Duh. So what they did at the dealer was they adjusted instead of, because you can definitely tell it feels like it's, well, if of course lower RPMs, it feels like the blades aren't really going. Of course, being the RPM needs more RPMs to really get that velocity going. So what they did, and it took them a while, and you will see right now why. They were adjusting the clutch and they were just tensioning it. This here should be, don't quote me on the numbers, but this should be non-engaged. Oh man, let's see. Non-engaged, this should be from here to here 2 inches. And when it's engaged, it should be about 2 1/4 to 2 3/8, I believe. So this here, and I measured it because this broke once. And this is the, of course, if you will, the second cable that it's had. Some stuff has other besides that has broken too, which I will get into. When I had a thought with when I was replacing it, hey, let me see where this is at, because once again I went to the ybravo site looking at the tips, where it should be, so on and so forth. And this was actually an inch more stretched, so that's why I'm assuming it broke. And I forget where it broke from, but it broke. And so it was at 3 1/4, and I guess that would help of course, more tension, help the blade swing a lot faster. But that was, and obviously as you can tell here, it's real tough to get in there. And I kind of suggested, why don't you take off the muffler, if we can have more room, because you really don't have much room to put, a wrench in there. So they did. The guy took it off, and of course he tensioned it and all that stuff. So, and it was good to go. But it took him like 10 minutes. The guy was just there struggling, and he kind of, it was a worker, not the owner. He kind of just gave me this look, like, what do you know, kind of thing. You're not a mechanic. But he did it, and guess what? He did it in 2 minutes instead of being there for 10 minutes to how he was. So there you go. If they would, I don't know if they should have taught these guys at the dealership how to adjust these machines, where they need to be, instead of, once again, if they sold however many of these there and they had the same issue. I'm not sure if they did or not, because I bought this, I'm out in Fresno, California, and I bought this in Madera. So I don't know anyone in my area that has one. I've seen 1 or 2, but they're 21 inches, so I haven't seen anyone. So that let's go to the stuff that's broken, I guess. Let me go real quick. So the bouts, every bout broke, which there's only 2. I don't know why I'm saying that. It seems like if there's 20 of them, but so there's a drive bout and a clutch bout. Probably within not even, and I didn't use this machine on a daily basis because I just didn't like how it worked in the beginning. The RPMs were low. After I found out everything, I raised the RPMs. You know, it was working better, but it does waste a lot of gas compared to a Honda. I had to fill this up 2 or 3 times in a day. Compared to the Honda, it's just one tank a day, and it's half a gallon tank. Sorry about that, I'm just burping right now. Just had a little dinner, so I forgot where my place was at. But the stuff is broken. So that's not even having that for using it consistently. So when I first got it, used it for a few weeks, parked it, I didn't like it, left it there, stored for 3 months. My wife told me, hey, what are you gonna do with that? Used it again, didn't like, something else broke on it, parked it, you know, went from there again. Put it back, didn't use it for about another 3 months. We'll just turn it on periodically, just have the lubrication, the, you know, oil flowing through, gas flowing through, all that. I just didn't want it to seize up, none of that stuff, because I know eventually I would use it again. And then same thing, my wife told me again, hey, what are you gonna do with that machine? Either fix it or get rid of it. So I fixed it again, you know, wanting to, I really do like the size of it. So I like the size that it's 25 inches. To me, the 30-inch Torfmasters are too big, especially, you know, we have a lot of these residential houses that just have like a, I don't know, what is it, 5-foot gate on one side. And so if they have the cans there, if you were to have the 30-inch, you would have to move those cans out of the way. So this is kind of a perfect in between, to where you don't have to move the trash cans, and you can just slide right through, you know, just barely skimming the cans and the house. So I like this size for a lot of the houses I do, where I have a 34-inch Compact Pro, Gravely Compact Pro. So a lot of those houses I can get that into in the backyard, because they have the gas meters there, you know, whatever situation may be, or the gate's just too small. I can get this in, and I like that. But you do have to have the blades sharpened. I have like 4 sets, and I have noticed that you do have to keep them sharp. Like every 2 days I have to, you know, which is not too hard to do, you know, just swap them out real quick. You know, sharpen a few, and then just know that swap them out about every 2 days. It doesn't need to be sharp in order to cut. But if you have like tall fescue, like ryegrass that's thin, or weeds that are thin, like underneath a redwood where it's thin, it does leave it a little, the quality is not all that great, like if you would have with a Honda commercial. But I guess I'm getting a little sidetracked, but from what stuff is broken. But either way, you know, it is what it is. I'm just going on, just things that just come up as I go, of course. So the cook quality wasn't all that great from the beginning. So now I'm using it again. I used it about a month ago, and the drive cable broke. I was kind of frustrated. I only used it for like 3 days, and it broke. And it broke, I have it right here. So this is the thing, and it has a little red knob where you can adjust the speed, like to, of course, to go slower or faster. And I use it on the slow level. There's a low and high, and I use it on the low, because if you go on the high, especially with the bi-weeklies, it won't cut. You're just going too fast, and it's not gonna, the cut quality is not all that great. So the first one, I've also replaced this one twice. This is going to be the second time that it broke. So the first time, oh my goodness, the first time it broke from the lever, which is here, that goes up there to the lever for the drive. It broke from there. And this second time it broke from here. It has a little hook that goes right there. Right there. So that broke. So 2 of those, which they warranted one of them. That's the first time I bought it. I didn't think about warranting it, calling them and getting all that done. The other thing that broke on this was a spindle. They're saying maybe it's the the metal quality is not all that great. So this of course is for the blades. The blade goes here, and this broke itself, so they sent me that, which I appreciate. So the spindle broke. The drive belt wasn't really that broken, but it was getting wore out. Once again, this is not even me using it for, I want to say, not even 2 months consistent, so over a year. So I probably only used it really a good 2 months, if you will, throughout the year. And all these things broke, given that I've had to kind of learn as I go with the dealer not setting it up right. I really blame it on that. But after all these little things, I do like it, but there's still things that you need to learn. Once again, sharp blades, stuff like that. The other thing, when I did try to use the cables, they have them in between. They have them in here now. Now they have them down here. I'm not sure if you can see the hole, but there's a hole. There's no way for me to get these in through that hole, which is, I think, one of their big things that they advertise, that they have, you know, not getting your cables caught on stuff and things like that. So that was one of the things I didn't like. So now they have them underneath. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, one thing real quick with this 25-inch one. The other thing that they didn't have right was, so this here, see the little notches here? So each one of these is for a different engine. So I guess one of them is for the Honda engine and for Kawasaki. I'm assuming these two are for, if I remember right, for the 21-inch mowers. And for the 25-inch one, you want to have it on this higher one because it gets more tension. So, you know, you get more, the proportion is better. And they didn't have that one there as well. So all those little things really affected this machine on its performance. And that was really one of the really downfalls to it. And now that I have it, sharpening the blades, replacing them every 2 days, it's really doing a decent job. Once again, today I did a house where it had a redwood in the center, and of course, as you know, that gets real thin, and it left little stragglers here and there, which I came around after with the weeder and kind of just knocked them down. But that's really the downfall of this. The cut quality with thin stuff, as I said again, with like ryegrasses, I did notice a lot of people in the wintertime, they go bi-weekly and they have ryegrass and they fertilize it well and it's nice and green, and I mow it at 6, nice and thick, but it still just leaves a little mohawk down the road, so I have to double cut those. And then after learning, after doing that a few times, so I would know not to use this one on those lawns, and I would use a 21-inch. Of course, that's a Honda that I use, that's 21-inch, and that would just go right through it, no problem. My goodness, it's a 13-minute video. I didn't think it was gonna. I was trying to go through it pretty quick, but that's pretty much it. Really, I really like how they have these big grips. I heard that the first gen didn't have these, and a lot of people had issues. Sorry, allergies. Having issues raising that. But now I give it out of a 10. I'll give it, of course, the Honda, I would give it like a 8 out of 10. This ybravo 25-inch, I would give it, I'm gonna have to give it maybe a 5, maybe a 6. Just overall, once again, I like the size. I don't know what else I would like from it. It stripes a little bit, but that to me here, a lot of people in this area don't like stripes, or never heard of anyone saying stripes. They do like when it's the Honda, when you can see it a little bit, but they just say, the checkered pattern, if you will. You change directions, of course, and they do say, oh, I like the checker pattern, but no one's really said, oh, can you continue that stuff? But either way, that's the only real, for myself. Now I'm solo again. I had someone helping me, and they found another job, and they, which is better for them. They got benefits and all that. So I've been solo for about 5 months now, and I like it just because, I go to the backyard, I take the mower and I take the weed eater. I just worked around being by myself, being more efficient with stuff. But either way, that's besides the point. This is this one here. That's pretty much it. 1 year review. I'm just going all over the place. I guess just to recap, a few things have broke on it. The warranty with them, you call them, it might take a few hours for them to get back to you, but they get back to you, they send you the stuff, and this stuff to replace, honestly, is not too hard. When I was real slow, when I was first starting, there was this gentleman that I would take to repair my stuff, and he was looking to get out of the industry, and actually his son took over. But he told me, hey, yeah, come over and I'll teach you, and then you can take all my clients. He works out of his house, so he taught me how to work on these machines a little bit. So, and it's nothing too hard, of course, just like anything else. Once you're a little bit familiar with it, it's pretty simple, pretty basic stuff to just really go into and fix. So the spindle wasn't really too hard. Once again, ybravo has the tips, which is really, I don't think I've ever seen it on the Honda site, but I've really never gone on there because the Hondas are really pretty consistent with being pretty reliable. I think in that thing I've owned that for 10 years, and I just replaced the engine last year. So, and the drive shaft, I think it broke once in those 10 years. So I really didn't have to do much really besides replacing the engine. But that's it. Oh man, we're at 16 now. Trying to make this short, but that's pretty much it. I'll have a lot more cons compared to the pros. And just the grip, as far as engaging, compared to the Honda, I'll show you that. Just trying to get used to the grips here. You have that kind of claw. I've pinched my finger here. There's this little knob here. Let's see if you can see it. Or this here, turning. Just learning how to use the machine. I have my hand here, just turning, and I wouldn't let it go, and I pinched my finger. But just little things like that you learn after a while having the machines. Once again, I think I said it already. I really want to rate it out of 10. I'll give it a 5 or a 6 overall. Big thing is, would I ever buy one again? I'm not sure. After looking at just the other little things that came, I really do like the size though. I don't know, that's the big thing. Would I buy another one? I don't think I will. But if they change a few, maybe if they have a blade that's longer, I'll show you guys a blade real quick. To me, I think if the cutting edge was a little longer, maybe it would cut better. You see how short that cutting edge is. I'm not sure. Let me show you. Well, I got this here, the All-American sharpener that I had a Bradley, I think. It's over there somewhere. And I just didn't like it. The edge wasn't, it was too big of an edge that I was putting. Well, you can see there, look how the edge was. It's kind of more of a 45 or something. But the 34-inch, look at how big of that cutting edge is. My thought was, I have a few of them, was, of course, the ybravo blades. I'm thinking about, I'm not sure how it's going to affect everything, but I want to grind this down to about here and see if that helps with the cutting, because it will leave a little stripe right once again with the ryegrass stuff. And then you'll see a real, if it's especially with stall, you'll see a little mohawk right in this section here. So I'm thinking if the cutting edge is a little longer like these here, it would do a better job. That's pretty much it. Once again, I'm just rambling off, but that's pretty much it, the issues that I've had with it. And hopefully, I really don't know what this video is going to do as far as if you want to get one. They definitely do work. It's just you have to learn the pros and cons of where you can use it, where you can't. I've never used it for a cleanup because I just never trust it that much with, once again, even if you go over sometimes with weedy lawns, which I don't have many, because now I'm just real proactive about telling people, hey, let's put, you know, post-emergence, pre-emergence, just to keep all these weeds. And a lot of those people are for it. Because, you know, a lot of people want to keep their lawns up, but it's just a matter of me being proactive too and telling them. But I mowed my neighbor's lawn, stuff like that, just to try it out, and it didn't really do a good job with mowing weed for me. I know I've seen YouTube videos where people go through it and it does a decent job, but for me, I just didn't like how it cut. So I would use once again, if I was able to fit the 34-inch, I would put the 34-inch there and just go around, knock that out pretty quick. But I really don't like that for that job. So by the way, I'm gonna stop this video. If not, it's gonna be a half an hour. We're already at 20 minutes, so hopefully this helps you with, you know, hopefully someone else has had better experience with this. So this is my experience. And it's nothing to slander on ybravo, but this is the fact of what the unit has been, you know, what's been happening with this unit. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.